day 2 on the Claymore. I'm calling it Claymore. I'm going to call it Claymore. After posting the original video of the forging of the blade, I got a lot of great feedback. A couple of things that I want to address. Many of you mentioned a distal taper, and it's there. I mean, I didn't draw it out in my, I didn't talk about it. I didn't mention it in the conversation, but it's there. It goes from like 2 millimeters all the way up to 6 millimeters. No, I'm sorry, 2 millimeters up to 4, I think is what it was. I just had a mic on it. I do actually have a thick spot right here, from here to here, where it's thicker than from, here. So I need to bring that down. I did some more research online, and the size of the Claymore, it's all over the place. They're a massive sword. They should be just about as tall as the man. Okay, but a lot of the commercial ones you can buy today, like Cold Steel, those are a 39-inch blade, I believe, on theirs. So I would say anywhere between 39 and 48 inch on the blade. So it's not an impressive Claymore, but I'm going to still call it a Claymore. Somebody said it looked more like a broadsword. I'm not sure where they got that from. I'm not a sword expert, so I'm not going to criticize that at all. However, get to work. A lot of great comments you guys made on the video. If you take a look, I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a wonk in here, but more importantly, there's a banana on this curve or on this blade, so it kind of goes off that way. I need to definitely fix that. I'm going to thin down this one section where it's thicker than it needs to be right in here. I would really like to just go through this and see if I can work out some of those hammer marks. I think that would be something worth doing. I'm almost tempted to put more of a bevel on with a hammer, because that's a lot of grinding that I have left there. I'm not sure. And then the big thing today is to fix this tang, get it ready to go. In thinking about it, I was going to just bring this piece down to match this one. I think that's probably what I'll do, but later I was thinking it'd be really not a bad idea to have as thick a tang there as possible. So I'm just going to bring this down a few millimeters, and then we're going to clean off these edges. Somebody commented and said, I hope the hell you do a better job with that than you did on the first sword, and we'll make sure that we prove that we learned something. And that's a lot of forging. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this thing done today or not. I would love to have it done because there's other things to do, but at the same time I would like to do a decent job for somebody that just making their first Claymore, their second or third attempt at a sword. So alright, enough talk, let's get back to work. See the camera today. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is work on this spot that's thicker than it needs to be, which is right in this area here. So I'm just going to thin down this center and then rework that. Just to try to get it so that it doesn't go thick to thin. So a little bit more there. That's step 1. That's better, and we didn't mess up the width in the process, so that's good. The next thing I'm going to do is try to get this banana out. It's kind of right in this area. I'm not sure if that was forged in by hammering not enough on one side. I'm looking at the thickness of the bevel here in contrast to this one, and it doesn't look like it. but it is a little thinner on this side. So I'm going to address that banana first by forging this side a little bit more. It does look, gosh, just a little bit thicker on this side. Very easy for me just to bend that curve, you know, you take that curve out, but if the blade is thicker on one side than the other, that's going to come back and haunt us in a couple of different ways. So I'm just going to work this part a little bit, probably to the point where now I'm curving it the other way. It certainly took a lot of that banana out. And I'm liking the thickness much better now. You know, I'm just judging it by eye. A little thick here still. One more time in that area, which is where that curve still is. So again, we'll call this fine-tuning the forging after we get an idea of what's going on. Just trying to even out the thicknesses on both sides. I'm trying to anyway. Trying to anyway. Gosh. Still seems thicker over here. My banana's going the other way. Thin there. Yeah, it's thicker there. This one spot. It's not bad. We'll do one more time, then we'll go ahead and straighten it. Especially towards the tip where you don't have a lot of material to work. The similar as you can get both sides of that blade, the better I can tell you. Got this part of it up. Let's hope. Alright. That's the thicker side right there. Better. Alright, now let's get this thing kind of straight. What I'm going to do is I got to turn around and work on this tang, so I'll get half of this blade hopefully as straight as an arrow as I can. We still got a curve in here. We're going to take that out next, and then we'll start worrying about another blade this way. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. I really would love to run a hammer up and down through that one time, just to take out hammer marks. I think that would work. Alright, so now I think I'm okay with it right until the very tail here. Right about here, we'll get that spot straightened out, we'll go from there. It isn't horrible. It isn't horrible. It's still like, let me pull it a little bit farther. Just there. I think that's what we need to do. This darn thing is so thin now that just heating in the forge, yeah, I like that. You end up getting a curve in the blade because of the heat hitting one side of it. So keeping this thing straight is going to be a pain. But let's see if we can get for half of it. Let's try to get that. We'll do about half the blade, and then hopefully get where we want. Let that cool, and then we'll flip it around to the other half. So we're not going to go super hot with this because, quite honestly, we don't need it to be that hot to move it. And being that hot, as you move one thing, something else might move on. So of course, having anything like real ice like helps in this part, or a straight edge I guess might help. I can't see her. It looks pretty good. And I'm looking way past the angle here. Just a little wave in the edge there, but it's not in the middle. Still got a thick spot there, though. I tell you, really, really do. Want it done right. As right as you're capable of doing. I don't know, guys. This, gosh, just a thick spot. Even here still where I was working. It's still thick, but we're gonna leave it, I guess. I'm trying to make sure there's no twist in the blade. As little twist as possible. Alright, we'll leave it like that. I think that's as good as my eyes can see anyway. So again, we're working straightness from here to here basically. So we'll let that cool down so I can handle it. And flip it around. Alright, this is cool enough now to handle it, flip it around and start working the other side. While it was cooling, I was looking for some material to use for hilt, and I found some 2x1/2. I cut it 11 inches. Now that's kind of what I want when I get done, is 11 inches. But I kind of wanted the to upset it. But this ends up weighing 3 pounds. So if we were to put that there, well, it isn't horrible yet. We want our center of mass to be, I have 3 to 5, I think is what it is, from the hilt. So maybe we're not crazy on heaviness at that point. But anyway, we'll put that off to the side, and we'll start looking at this side. What do we want to do as far as straightness goes? There's wonks this way that I want to deal with. The first thing I want to do is deal with this tang. So I will bring this side down a little bit, center it up, and then clean up these edges. I'm wondering if I can get take a little bit off of this. This just seems wide for that second hand, right? And 2 hands gonna be back here, all right? But for more control and to shorten your sword, we're gonna wrap this part in leather. I don't know if this entire thing's called a ricasso or not, but that's, somebody corrected me and said, "Well, you mean the ricasso?" And they're laughing at me a little bit. But this area here that isn't sharpened before the guard, I would say that's ricasso. So I'm just wondering if I can thin that out just a little bit. I want to take anything from the sword, but I'm not going to. And in that process, I might be able to pick up another inch in there. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's see what we can do. Just drop out of this. About bringing this thing down here a little bit. myself a little bit at the same time. Squaring it off. I'm gonna go. I don't want to go too thin there. I want it centered, there ain't no doubt about that. Alright, a little bit more work here, I think, is appropriate. Just to get her exactly centered, and I'm happy with that. I think that's okay. Taper and thickness looks okay. Alright, I'm going to straighten up the rest of this. And I think that end we're going to go ahead and draw out to a little smaller cross section for the pommel. We'll work just this section here first. We got to work that end out anyway. Get her as square as possible. Rectangular, I guess, would be more accurate, but square in my mind meaning right where I want it. Square and straight. Straight with the wonka wonk. We should take that wonka wonk out of there first. You do that. Well, I'm going to frig with this anyway. Alright, before I go any farther with this, it's true, because when I address this portion of the blade, it might throw what I think the tang should be off anyway. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do a squish and draw a cycle on this, just to give me a little less width and a little less thickness. We'll do all that hard work, get this wonk out of here, and then we'll finish the tang. Let's see what we can do about thinning that out. Thinning that out a little bit. I don't want to go much, but I think we can go a little. I like the looks of that too. Yeah, just a little thinner. I like that. I think we'll heat her up one more time, clean her up, straighten her up, and then we'll move forward. A little bit like that. Yes, we're doing a little extra forging in this video, huh? I thought we were done until we hit that grinder yesterday. We're really tuning it, you know what I mean? Tuning it to what I want it to be. Too bad. Just kind of clean her up a little bit here. One more heat. I'm going to want that rounded anyway. I'm going for one more heat and we'll clean her up with a little less blackness. I'm liking the way that looks. Give it a good cleaning. Alright, we'll round her off a little more. Do it on the grinder, of course, but we're trying to keep every piece of steel we can on here from a weight perspective. Black key hammer removal, hammer mark removal. I think we're okay. The tang might be showing me off. Yeah, we're okay. Got a little straightening to do. Wrap this part of it up if we can. I don't know if I hate it or not. First I thought I wanted it. Yeah, right here. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Ignore the tang, Chandler. The tang's throwing you off. That wonka wonk's throwing you off. I think we're okay. I gotta get this wonk out of here. It's driving me nuts. So we got, you know, a little bit of a curve here on that part of the blade. We'll see if we can get that knocked down now. This part I like. Who knows, maybe we picked up a quarter of an inch or something. Anyway, what we got to do on this side. Let's drop my hammer. Drop the hammer. Alright, so where's the big wonk? The big wonk's right here. And it's one of those that are crisp on one side of the blade only. Pain in the ass for me to get rid of. Go back to this side. It's got a little bit of the same thing going on there. See, something just doesn't look right here. Right in this area, either thickness, yeah, it's thickness right there. I'm trying to make this blade as perfect as possible. I can only imagine what the thing's going to do in a quench. That's the thing that scares me. So we've got some weirdness going on here. It's throwing me off set. Something just doesn't look right. Can't quite figure out in my brain what it is. I think was what it was right there. Alright, so again, it's that section just, it's almost like this section's higher than that section. I'm not sure what's going on. We gotta fix it though. Well, at least it isn't thousands of hammer strokes in between each seam. Hopefully it's not bothering you too much. Something right in here. something right in there, and it makes it look like it's hooked. It's like it's not centered, and I can't tell if it's, yeah, there's like a whole curve going on. Alright, let's get that fixed. Sorry guys, but I guess that's part of the game, right? Again, a lot of this stuff I wouldn't have seen had I not done that surface grind. Actually, it's almost a rough grind. I don't think I'm going to go any farther with it before hardening. But I wouldn't have seen that. And instead of accepting it and hoping to grind it all out, we're just taking some time. Actually, I'm kind of in a sword spirit mode now. It's like, all right, respect what you're doing. Try to take your time and get it cleaned up. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to mess this up. It just appears to me that it's just going off at an angle. There we go. We moved it too far, which seems right suspicion anyway. And the right suspicion anyway. Just doesn't look right. Don't know why. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's flip this sucker around. Here's my little box jaws. And see what the user would see. Make sure we're happy with it. That side I'm not unhappy with. Whoa, I'm losing my stuff. It's going to be hot on my hands. This one is just something's freaky. What the hell's going on? Maybe it's the blade. It just kind of takes off, and I'm not sure if that's a grinder fix or not. Sorry for taking so much time, but I just think I got a little bit of a belly on this edge of the blade. Let's flip around and see if we can take that out. Do what I want to do. I hope I get it out there. It's just one of those things. Yes, that looks beautiful. This just wants to come down. That isn't horrible. Looks much better. I'm assuming that's the side bothering me. You know? Looks really good from this direction. Let's go back with the tongs from the other direction and see what the hell. Alright. That's not bad. There we go. Alright, I'm happy. I'm happy with straightness. I'm happy with a bit of banana going on right here. And take that out. Let me see if I can see that from the other side. Yeah, I see it. Alright, so a bit of a banana right in this area, and we'll be done with that part. Go with straightening it. I'm going to check the thicknesses on both sides there and make sure it's not a forging error, which definitely is not, because this side is actually a little thicker. Sucks, but it is what it is. Go out of whack. Every time you hit something, you go out of whack. The banana's gone. I got a wrinkle right here. right there. We gotta go back for heat. Da. Getting sick of this part. Getting sick of this part. It's funny, the whole sword now is curved because I heated it on one side, inside that forge. It's crazy. Might want to go on. Oh yeah, we can't beat that. Can't complain about that. I think we're going to call it right there. We're going to call it right there. Even though it may not be perfect. Right, that's it. Now we'll go back and finish out this tang. And then I promise, children, the forging will be done. I got to figure out how to bring this entire length up to critical. That's going to be an interesting thing. The propane forge maybe with one burner and just keep moving it, but it took too long. I was using it yesterday and it took too long to heat the whole thing for some reason. Maybe the forge. The thing I got to do is I got to make sure the blade is perpendicular as I'm doing it, because if I lay it down either way, there's only going to be heat on one side. I'm going to end up having a warp blade before I even go to quench. So one thing, first things first, Jenna. Finish this tank. Let's go ahead and see what we got now. Did we mess anything up that we started before? Just a little. This wants to be down just a little bit more now. A little bit more. That looks good. Now we clean her up. Get her pointing in the right direction. Get her pointing in the right direction. No twists, no turns, it's good. Down to the end. And another section of this thing where I want it to be cleaned up. Make sure we get a bit of a taper there. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do with a handle, but if I do a burn-in, I want a taper on it, that's for sure. We're looking good right down to here. Just can't see that far, Chandler. That's looking really good. So we're down to here now, and now I'll go ahead and taper more aggressively. Don't know what to do on the end. I mean, I planned on peening on a pommel, but you guys keep telling me you're going to do a twist on, you know, a threaded tap pommel so that you can end your foe, your enemy righteously, or something like that. And maybe that's something from sword making that I don't know, or it's something from the gaming world. You're going to do a screw-on pommel so you can end your enemy righteously? Or honorably, or whatever they say? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I was going to look it up last night in my insomnia, but I didn't. So if I'm going to do a thread, then I want, you know, a consistent and a square end on this. If I'm going to peen it over, then I want it tapered. So that's why I have to make the decision now. I suppose I can go tapered, and if I change my mind, we can square that back off. So let's do that. Let's just do that. Grab one more piece of it, taper it up a little. I think we'll be alright. Alright, let's finish this little project. So I do see I'm getting a little fatter squared. Boom, 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 boom. Bang. Dang, 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 ding, dang. I don't give a hot diggity dig dang dong. How was that from? The war, I think. That is standby. I don't give a hot diggity dig dang dong. No, it's the war. Alright, children. Cheers. Oh no, there's more. Sons of bitches, that's a big ass sword. Alrighty. Oh, okay. No, we're not done yet. Believe it or friggin' not. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I take the cutoff wheel and just square these things off. But in one of my previous videos, somebody said, you know, if Chandler had a file around, he could do some real work. So I do have files. So let's go ahead and we'll hot file that section and get that guard stop. Swear it, man. Everyone knows how to run a file, huh? As we go on this side. Oh no, it's too. There we go, we're alright there. I get it in there straight, but I can't, it won't fit. Now I gotta play it eyeball. Let me go back to the fire. I'd love that thing to sit in there. Straight up and down. So let's take advantage of my little heat sink things that I use for tempering, and we'll be able to put that file out there, or that blade out there, I think. Try this again. Oh, guys, don't do that. You didn't have to be a pain in the ass about it. So it's right on the ground. I need it up a little bit. About like that. Hopefully we can get it squeezing up on it. Or Chandler can hot file. Fortunately, I don't have a very aggressive file. I just went through my collection, and none of them are. So we'll just take our time and square this off. I'll be back when this is done. Okay, so this is not quite forged perfectly, but Chandler can run a file. It's funny, I bet you guys are yelling at me. It's like, guys, I don't have any aggressive files. And over in the corner I realized I have like 200 of them that I plan on making knives and stuff out of. So this one here worked the best, a little square file. I got a little cleanup to do here, you know, but I think we're close to center, but we got a nice guard stop now. DPI okay, that'll work. Dimensions are now. So the widest part of the blade is 1 3/4 inches. It's not bad. Narrowest part is down by 3/4. I think 2 inches is what we were after, and I could perhaps forge that out, but no, that's the way we're going to stay. And the overall length of the blade is 40 3/4 inches, so I'm okay with that. Within some of the boundaries, especially out in the modern ones, the ones you buy cold steel and stuff. We have exactly 13 inches of tang. And that's it. I'm going to hit this with a wire wheel because I don't need to rough grind anymore. I'm good where it is. And then hopefully we can get all of the blade part just barely. I'm short about 1 inch in my quench, so to where I'm cutting the blade. So I'm just going to be 1 inch short. That's all right. It's the way it is when you work in chin the shop. But anyways, we're gonna harden this sun and go now. Procrastinating I can do right now. Yeah, actually took a shot of vodka. That's how nervous I am. It's crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this running. I'll cut in and out pieces. Okay, hopefully you can see everything that needs to be seen. So over here we have the where's my hand? I wouldn't be a very good weatherman. That's the quench tube. The forge is over there, and I got a nice good hot fire going. And then on the table in the back I have a few clamps in case I get a warp that I want to take out. So I just got to keep running that sword in and out of the fire, and it's got to be vertical, and I got to flip it over. I can't have it putting any heat warps in on me. So I'm very, very anxious about it, but here goes nothing. Too long a sword for too small a shot. Come on, children. I'll come back when it's done. It's going to take a long time. Half an hour, 20 minutes anyway, but we're getting closer. Can't get the heat I need. I'm going to go to the propane. It's the only option I got left. seeing a little bend on the end, but I don't think it's there. I did preheat the oil to about 200 degrees. But of course, that was before I did the see it working. How about this one? Oh, good that way now. The moment of truth. Sons of bitches, don't drop it. Not bad. This work's gonna be soft up here. Last inch, but man, oh man, oh man. Good golly. Good golly, Miss Molly. Alright, I'll clean her up. Take a closer look at her when she's cool. We just washed her off with some soap and water. I do have a warp right at the very end. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right there. That's not horrible. I'm going to have to accept it. I might be able to pull it out in a temper. I don't know for sure. It's just, you know where it is? It's right where that spot I said was thicker than I wanted it. So there's a lesson learned, even though people say I don't teach. Or I'm not a teacher. I'm teaching you this. Right where that spot was fat is where it worked. Now it might be something totally different. I wish I had seen that before, so I easily could have fixed that. I might be able to, but I don't know. Now the big question is, how the hell do I temper this thing? I don't know how I'm going to do that, because my variable temper is not going to work. I know that for a fact, so the whole thing's got to be tempered pretty well too. Being a sword, it's got to be pretty flexible. So I'd say in my little spring lesson, I tempered at 700 degrees to get the springs to act like springs, and we kind of want this to be very springy. So I'd say probably 500 degrees anyway, or more. Brown, I think is what we want. So I got to figure it out. We're going to cut this video short. I need to come up with a way to temper this, and I don't think I can do it with my torch in a way that I'm comfortable. So that leaves me to go find an oven that will take this. And actually, my son works for a pizza shop, and I was actually thinking of perhaps seeing if he's working today and having him throw it in their oven. I think they cook around 500 degrees. So I'm looking for 400, 450, 500 degrees for a couple hours, I guess, is what I'm guessing for this steel. Or I might try something else. And it makes sense to me, and I did a couple of little searches just now, and I don't see, except for the danger of it, I don't see why it wouldn't work. So, and that would be to boil this in oil. Vegetable oil boils around 450 degrees, so it won't get any hotter than that. It will burn. So I'm actually thinking of bringing the turkey cooker back tomorrow and using my quench pot as a pot, and just boiling this thing in oil for a couple hours. I don't think I certainly have never done it, so I'm going to give it a try, I think. So that's the plan. See you tomorrow. Sorry for the not so exciting update, but we are hardened. Don't drop it, Jimmy. And ready for heat treat and then final grind. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave channel a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support, as always.